Dr. Devin here. If you've ever had any health challenges in the last 5 years, there's no doubt you've Googled or searched for the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is so powerful. You know what can affect the vagus nerve is symptoms such as ADHD, anxiety, asthma, allergies, autism, and those are just the A's. It plays a huge role in our gut, our respiration, our heart rate, mood, emotions, everything under the sun when it comes to healthcare. And so, what I want to talk about in today's video, because if your child has been struggling with a multitude of symptoms, the vagus nerve may be what's connecting them all together. So, in this video, we're going to talk about what the vagus nerve is and does, how if your child or kiddo is struggling with vagal nerve dysfunction, how do you know what happens and what causes it? And then we'll talk about how to measure it because that's oftentimes the most important. We don't always know why our kids are struggling. We don't know what started it. And so we're going to talk to you how to measure it. Here's what's cool about the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve, it starts up here in our upper neck. It's actually a cranial nerve, meaning it's directly connected to the brain, and it goes to multiple places throughout the body. It goes to the neck and helps with flow. It goes to the heart. It helps us calm down our heartbeat. It goes to the lungs and helps us breathe. And then it spreads all the way down and it goes into our gut to help with digestion and sensory in there. And it really helps us regulate that gut brain connection. So this just shows how important that vagus nerve is for our kids. When there's multitude or multiple symptoms involved, or when we have multiple struggles, it can be often tied back to that vagus nerve. Now, usually vagal nerve disorders, they stem from a trauma, whether it be a sickness, inflammation, could be even back to the birth process. And this is where we talk about it a lot as pediatric chiropractors. Coming up from the brainstem to the neck, there's a lot of pressure that happens there with birth and delivery, whether it be from a vacuum, whether it be from forceps, manual assistance, whatever it looks like, that delivery process, that can all cause stress to that vagus nerve. This is just where it's most sensitive and susceptible in that upper neck region. So if your kiddo is struggling with a lot of those symptoms we talked about and had a difficult birth or had physical trauma or had a big sickness, an immune challenge in life, there's a really good chance that that's tied to that vagus nerve function. Now, when we look at the vagus nerve, it's oftentimes hard to know how much our kids really are struggling with it and how much of it is tied to the vagus. This is why we love to measure it in our office. And why? Well, as a pediatric chiropractor, it's something that in a way we can biohack and say, here's how we can help it get online to help our kiddos. So I'm going to talk about and show you a little bit of an example of a 2-year-old, of a little girl who is struggling with sleep, digestion, and gross motor challenges, and really walk through where her HRV was and why. It really showed that she was struggling so much. So this is an example of a heart rate variability scan that we do in our office, HRV for short. Now, what it looks at is it really looks at two things. It looks at the overall activity of the vagus nerve of our nervous system, and then it looks at the balance of it. And so if we look at her chart here, obviously green is where we want to be. Green is where the body has the most activity, the most balance, the most ability to be able to get the nervous system balanced and to help it regulate mood and emotions, help it regulate the immune system, help it regulate that gut brain connection. And for this little girl, where she plotted, that lower white dot is much lower than we'd like. What this tells us is that vagus nerve is exhausted, running on empty, and working way too hard. So out of 100, she scored 54.89. Now, that being low, it shows us that her body is struggling to keep up with everything. Not just one thing, not just digestion, not just respiration, not just mood and emotions, with everything. The nervous system is working too hard. And what do we know about 2 year olds? Is they're supposed to be conquering motor challenges. You're supposed to be curious. They're learning the yeses and the nos from parents with behavior and everything. And if your nervous system isn't at full efficiency at that age, you're going to see a lot of struggles. This is why, it starts with babies. They're supposed to eat, sleep, and poop and just be cute, right? And then as they grow and they learn more things, their immune system learns, their motor system learns, their social system learns. All those things learn. If their vagus nerve isn't operating at full efficiency, you're going to see struggles. So, if this is you, if this is your kiddo where maybe you haven't been able to connect the dots and you know in your gut that they're all related, we want to help you measure this. Come to our office. Let us do this scan and put that together because that really helps us to enter that conversation about their overall health to see how efficient is their nervous system. How can we maybe help more than just one of their challenges together because they're all interconnected by the nervous system. So if this is something that you're struggling with, shoot us a direct message. We would love to reach out. We'd love to do this scan to see if that's what we can help you with. We would love to enter that conversation being able to help you. So I hope this finds you well. Take care. God bless, guys.